I've done a lot of volunteering at Whistleschtick with various jobs. Back when we got the contract for Meals on Wheels, I thought, well, that would be interesting. Get out and meet people, deliver meals. I had no idea it would be one of the most gratifying, important things that I've ever done in my life. You met Wally. There are a lot of clients that we have that are just like Wally. And I'd like to introduce you to two others. One is Ron. When I first met Ron, he was new to my route, put his address into my GPS, had his food, went to the house, knocked on the door, and the lady said, oh, no, Ron doesn't live here, he lives out back. So I went out to the back, and here's an extension cord going out to a tool shed. And knocked on the door, and out pops Ron. Ron had been a contractor. I don't think a very successful one, but somewhere along the line he'd fallen off a ladder, broken his back, never worked again, had some other health issues, had no family, no money, and so he was living in a tool shed. What we discovered right away was that we had both had a passion for jazz and the San Francisco Giants. So we had a lot to talk about, including whatever ailments he had. And we became fast friends. It was a real treat to me because I'd pull up the car. It's about 20 yards from the tool shed, and I'd get out and say, yo, Ron, Meals on Wheels, and out would pop Ron. And then one day, I came and there was a lock on the tool shed. So I went to the front door and I said, what's the deal with Ron? She said, oh, I'm so sorry to tell you Ron passed away 2 days ago. But he has something that he wanted me to give you. And she brought out a little picture that had been taken of the two of us about a year before. And we're standing there like two silly junior high boys, just grinning, arm in arm, smiling at the camera in front of Ron's tool shed. And it's a keepsake that I will certainly treasure. Next comes Sharon. Now, Sharon was a lady who I think had a life of bad decisions. She really didn't have any skills. She just hitched her wagon, so to speak, to men. I think she had 4 or 5 husbands, a lot of boyfriends. There was the long-haul trucker. There was the guy who worked at the rodeo, and a lot of other guys. But Sharon, at this point, was living in senior housing without 2 nickels to rub together. We had a code. When I would come to her house, I would ring the bell 3 times and then bang on the door twice. So she would know it wasn't a bill collector or somebody trying to hassle her. Take the meals, we'd have a chat, we talked about a lot of things. She was very sickly. And I noticed that she had moved into the living room. There was a cot, not a cot, but just a really thin little mattress on the floor. Sharon was a very heavy smoker, and what she'd done is she burned up her bed. Didn't have money for another bed, so she was living in the living room. Along came Christmas time, and I stopped, and ding, 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 and bam, bam. Sharon came to the door, gave her her meals, and she said, listen, I have something for you. And she brought out an old shopping bag, and inside was a little scarf. She said, I knitted this for you. Now the scarf was about this wide and about this long. But she had knit this scarf. So you better believe when the weather was under 55 degrees, I was wearing that scarf when I went to see Sharon. There was also a little card in there, and it said, Dear Orville, you are the best friend I ever had. Merry Christmas, Sharon. So this is, these are just a few examples. I've got dozens of them, as you can imagine, of the way in which Whistleschtick takes its mission, which, as Joe said, was dignity, grace, and independence. Yes. And these are some of the things that we do to provide a quality of life that these people don't have on their own, because their life is so narrow, and sometimes really it is just the four walls that they have around them. Now, Joe mentioned that we've got some issues with our political situation in terms of Meals on Wheels. I don't know, how many people read John Diaz this morning in the Chronicle? Okay, well, John he's got a columnist in Insight, and his whole column is on Meals on Wheels because he went out with his daughter and delivered meals. And he's got a bunch of stories that are really very similar to the experiences that I've had. We have the opportunity, and we're fortunate that several of our donors have provided a matching fund opportunity for us today. They have put together $23,000, and what they are asking us to do today is to match those funds. You have a bag that you received that has several things in it. One are your senior mints. And the other is a Whistleschtick 2017 pledge form. So what I would ask you on behalf of Wally and Ron and Sharon and the other hundreds of people that we deliver meals to just reach down and whatever you can, whether it's $10 or $100 or $500, make a pledge. Leave it out in the lobby. Remember that whatever pledge you make is going to be doubled. And we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your support to help us to continue what we want to do. And I would also like to take a minute to thank Joe and Anita and Yvonne, because they have given in addition to all the wonderful work that they have done and continue to do, they have given me the opportunity to do something so important and so heartfelt. And I'm just so grateful to have this opportunity to make a difference. Thank you.
Couldn't have been said better.